Hi, Dr. Bowen's management students. This is a wrap-up of the management class. Just wanted to give you a few quick pointers and let you see my beautiful cat Kawaii one more time. She kind of wants to be a YouTube star, so she thinks this might be her big chance. Just kidding. Anyway, here is our course wrap-up. I want you to be able to use management in everything you do now rather than think of it as a theory and concepts class that you took past and you can put aside. I want you to be able to use it in everything you do. So here's some pointers on that. The excellence principles in your book, the 10 generic principles of excellence table. Make a copy of that and put it where you can see it every day, all the time, especially when you get your first job. And I want you to do that because those principles show you how to be a good manager. Yes, of course, it's for public relations to be the best and most effective management that it can be strategically in helping an organization. But those principles will also help you advance your career, especially if you use them in your day-to-day job. For example, put research first. You have to know research methods and how to do data collection to be a strategic public relations manager. So always answer questions and think about problem solving in a research-first type of mindset. Putting yourself into the world as an issues manager rather than a communication professional will get you to that problem-solving mindset as well. So always start thinking about research first. And also, ethics matters. That's the third point. Ethics really matters because it does show how an organization will treat you as an employee, as well as how you're going to treat your stakeholders and publics around that organization. So try to always think about the case studies that we saw in this class and what you learned from those. I think most of you saw that you're better at management than you think because you analyzed these case studies and you knew things that the people managing the actual organizations did not know. You could have prevented these problems, or if the problem had arisen, you could have solved these problems much more effectively than did the folks in the real world. So, another pointer I have for you, the fourth thing, is to study the organizations you're interested in working for. Learn as much as you can about them before going to an interview or thinking seriously about a job offer. I want you to study the dominant coalition. How do they lead? What is their leadership and management style? Is it authoritarian and theory X, or is it participative and theory Y? What is the organization's mission, their vision, their core values? If you think about the structure and the culture of the organization as well, you can probably learn a lot about it, even from the outside, by reading its annual reports, studying websites, and don't forget to look at its trade association, its competitors, and any industry insider websites like Glassdoor. Glassdoor can give you a lot of information on what it's like to really work inside of an organization, and you want to be armed with all of that knowledge going in. So the fifth point I have for you to take away is I want you to think broadly. I know that as a public relations major or someone going into corporate communication, you're probably thinking of working in a PR agency first. Not a bad idea, but I want you to expand your mindset bigger than that. Think about working for an NGO or a nonprofit group. Think about working for a government body, all the way from our congressmen and our federal government, our senators, all the way down to our city mayors. They all need press secretaries. They all need professional communicators. They need people to advise them all the time, and it's a wonderful way to get a start on your career. Also think about lobbying groups and advocacy groups. Those organizations do hire public relations majors right out of school, and it's a great way to get experience. It may be a little bit tougher to find those types of jobs, but don't rule them out. Lobbying agencies are in every state capital, and they are a wonderful way to get some experience in public affairs. Also think about corporations, of course, in whatever industry that you like. If it's a certain product that you like, think about working for that product. If there's a location you like, look at the major corporate employers there. They all are wonderful sources of jobs as well. And don't forget about trade associations. Trade associations are wonderful for research as well as advocacy, and they do all kinds of things, from the American Association of Surfboard Manufacturers to the Aluminum Association. And as we saw, there are groups for everything. As far as every industry, there's going to be multiple trade associations. So thinking about those groups and advocacy and activist groups should give you a lot broader range. You can find almost anything out there that you're interested in. And if you have a passion for it, you're going to enjoy working in that industry. For example, there are groups now that take veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder and introduce them to horses and teach them riding, because they find that this is really therapeutic for getting rid of their post-battle issues. So those types of organizations exist everywhere, and they're a little easier to get a job with than you might think, because they're looking for people who are passionate about their issues. So I hope that broad base of places you can work gives you more ideas going forward. I know it's not the best job environment just graduating from college, and you might not have a broad range of options in front of you. But think very broadly in terms of what you may be happy doing or what you might be interested in learning about. And that's a great way to identify a potential career path. And then my last tip for you is to use business etiquette. We didn't talk about that too much in this class because we simply didn't have time. It's one of the reasons I wanted you to read Covey's Secrets, the 7 Secrets of Highly Effective People, because he does talk about starting at the end, thinking ahead, win-win negotiating, and so on. I want you to think about how to work those into your day-to-day communications, not just your interviews, but all the time in the business world. And use good business etiquette overall. For example, have a very professional looking email signature. A lot of folks have sent me emails without anything in the body of the email, not even an "here's my assignment." That's really not what we look for in the professional world, although I'm not penalizing you as students for it. But come up with a way that you have a signature that's very professional, and always follow up. Send thank you notes, send nice to meet you notes, say, do you want to get together for a cup of coffee and talk more about what you do? I'd love to learn your end of the business, to someone that you just met, and you'll be surprised at the connections that you could make and eventually prosper from in the future. So I hope these tips have helped you. Using the excellence principles: research first, ethics matters, study the organizations you're interested in, learning everything you can about their mission, vision, values, management, to make sure it is a place that you would want on your resume in the future. Think broadly in terms of job options, and use business etiquette. Those are my takeaways from the management class, and I have really enjoyed teaching you management this semester. For me, the best thing about this class is I see a group of students who don't know anything about management and are unsure of themselves at the beginning of the semester. And by this point of the semester, I see capable young managers who have already managed a team and who've learned from a case study and who have made insights on the discussion board and in the case study that even people with MBAs probably wouldn't have thought of. I'm very proud of all of you. Thank you for joining me in my class, and I hope I'll have you in another semester or at least another video. See you soon. Bye-bye.